Celeste is a game about climbing a mountain. It's also a game about internal struggle, but mostly the mountain thing. It's a very simplistic looking game, and honestly on paper, all of its mechanics are incredibly simple, but when put together, it's frustrating, incredibly frustrating. You see, platformers are my favorite genre of all time. I grew up playing platformers, I used to design platformers, I really like platformers, so I knew I had to give this game a try. And honestly, I wasn't disappointed. Let's talk about the look. Celeste has 3 art styles. It has the 3D menu, the hand-drawn dialogue and title cards, and the simplistic pixelated graphics, which a lot of indie games are known for. See, I like the 3D menu because it gives a really good sense of progress for the player. It's like climbing an actual mountain almost. But not really, because this is a video game. And I really like the hand-drawn dialogue boxes. There's one massive problem I have with this, and I'm gonna point it out and you're gonna hate me for it. You see, the dialogue box text isn't centered to the entire space of the box. It's centered from the side of the box to the side of the portrait, which normally isn't a big deal, but the fact that the center is marked on the box kind of makes it glaring to anyone who might notice it. I noticed it basically right away. It's just a small nitpick, and not that big a deal. But how does the game play? Like I said before, platformers are my favorite genre. This game is hard, frustrating, but not impossible. The mechanics are stupid simplistic on paper, but when combined and executed, actually puts your skills into practice. You feel stupid when you're dying the same way over and over again. The mechanics don't betray you. See, sometimes it takes 10 minutes to beat a screen, and then other times you beat it on the first try and you have no idea why. A few of these mechanics include the double jump, which is actually a dash, bubbles, feathers, and wind. I fucking hated the wind stages. I like when a mechanic has to make you resourceful and change the way that you play a game, but the wind is just fucking annoying. It basically impedes your entire movement set, and it's just frustrating. It's the most frustrating part of the entire game, in my opinion. But then in the final level, when all of the mechanics come together and you realize just how useful they are, I think that the final level is the best example of how all of these mechanics work in tandem. Let's talk about the sound. See, the sound design is so good that you can actually hear inflection and tone in speaking without actually hearing any spoken words. The sound effects are impactful, you know what's happening. Subtlety as well. I like the sound that Madeline makes when she's walking and climbing on different textures. Though the music is very effective at portraying the feeling of a scene, it lacks memorability though. You could probably play me one of the tracks right now and I won't be able to tell you what it's from. I'd compare the music to a bowl of French fries. It's filling, but I don't really feel satisfied. Let's talk about the story a little bit. See, I don't really want to dwell on the story because I didn't play this game because of the story, but it's basically about this girl, Madeline, who wants to climb this mountain, and then she is getting chased by a shadowy version of herself, and then she learns to use that part of herself instead of try to fight it. That's basically it. A lot of the time the game would beat over your head that she, is anxious and has depression, and a lot of the time I felt myself rolling my eyes being like, yeah, I get it. It wasn't subtle. So that's all I'm really going to say about the story. If you give a shit about the story, you should probably play the game yourself. Some final thoughts. Sometimes I hated playing this game, but the problems were never because of the game. It was because I felt like I wasn't doing good enough. I got myself tilted. I had to take frequent breaks. When I played through, I didn't give a shit about the strawberries. I ended up with 49 strawberries and over 1,000 deaths. But by the end of it, even though I hated it while I was playing it, I was very glad that I did beat it. And I'm probably going to go back and do B-side and all that other shit. If you're on the fence about buying this game, I definitely do suggest it if you like platformers like me. Alright, well that's all I really had to say about Celeste. If you like these type of reviews where I don't even have a script and I just sort of talk about, my raw opinion on a video game, you should let me know down below. And I appreciate your loyalty to the brand. Until next time.